Hey guys, Trevor Rowe here with,
David Setzman.
and today we're here to talk about the Dark Eldar Codex and supplements, sort of. So, Dave, clearly anybody who's been watching our Battle Reports Gamecast,
I've
played
these
Dark
guys.
Eldar.
I do.
So, I mean, we're going to start from just the very top of the Force Org, kind of walk through it a little bit. HQs, what are your go-tos right now?
It really comes down to one of two ways. If you're playing an assault-heavy army, meaning you're intending to go with some guys for some feel no pain buffs, and homunculus.
Okay.
Webway portal being optional both to homunculi and archons, so there's a lot of interchangeability there. People who are really pushing for venom spam, they like running archons or Court of the Archons. Court of the Archon being more like a command squad, but in the Dark Eldar Codex they have a blurb noting that you can take them. They just only don't count towards force organization chart if you already have an archon.
Yes.
So a lot of people just for points conservation are looking at the Court of the Archon.
Yeah, because the cheapest one is what, 15
10
points?
points.
10 points. Okay, even
and
better.
she has a weapon that's Fleshbane and instant death on 6s, and for 10 points you're really getting a lot of bang for your buck, and she can buy Venom. So you're looking at a 75-point investment to have 12 poison shots out of your HQ. So people, if they're really looking to get bang extra Venom play, then you'll see like 2 Liam inside of Venom for 150 points.
Yeah, and bringing a bunch of Venoms is pretty common. So,
Yes.
I mean, the fact that you can just throw one in with your HQ doesn't, cost as much as the Venom itself, you're in a good spot.
And they have some good ally options between Eldar and Harlequins, and there's a lot of characters that can join a Lehman and her Venom, which gives that Venom more gameplay as well. Because at a 5 capacity, they're typically not as valuable as far as making other units join inside.
Mm-hmm.
Archon, comparable in costs, it starts at more around the 60 range, but you start putting so many points into it, to have the Archon do what you want, you're looking at 120 plus points on this Toughness 3 model. And they've eliminated a lot of the weaponry that used to be very common for people to want an Archon, like the Venom Blade. It used to be a 2+ to wound close combat weapon for 5 points. The only model in the army that can have that now is the Akathist, which is the equivalent of a sergeant for the Rack unit. So the Archon's really best weaponry gets him an AP of 3, and with Strength 3, it's just really not that big a deal.
Okay. And the troops, in general, 7th edition, troops get talked about a lot. Where are you leaning on here? You min and max? What troops are you going?
Objective security is a really big deal.
Yep.
And Dark Eldar do it in pretty fine number. At a bare bone, you're looking at 110 units to get 2 objectives.
110
points.
units?
That's so many units! Power level 9,000! But you could get 12 objective secured units for 660 points.
That's real cheap, and it's fast.
And you're getting 144 poison shots out of that, which is just obscene. And for that point investment, that's just really violent. People really liked Witches in older editions. They've had a really big hit. They lost Haywire, and their save is non-existent. And the way that flame template weapons started to work on open-top vehicles is basically like a kill can. Cook my can in the women inside. And Warriors aren't much better off, but for your costs, since they're so similar in cost, you're really just getting a lot more out of your Warrior squad. But that's just the only 2 troops they have now. So you really, and was before as well. But when you're looking at that, the only question really comes down to, are you warrior spamming with splinter racks on raiders, which is just like it was before, rerolls on all the poison weaponry.
It's a lot of attacks and a lot of rerolls.
And a lot of potential in that. But nothing for any vehicle.
Yeah,
So,
and this is kind of the addition of big scary monsters and knights. So poison shots and rerollable poison shots are phenomenal.
and they really have the potential, because they're one of the few armies that have a lot of access to Haywire, to be able to put that into different squads on their sergeants, or to take alternative units that we'll get to in a little bit that make knights and armor 14 vehicles not really a thing to Dark Eldar. So that poison spam really helps.
Well, let's jump to that real quick. Haywire is really your big anti-vehicle option. What's your go-to Haywire caddy?
Scourge.
But
Good
what about
mobility.
Scourge?
And Scourges.
Oh,
probably
see,
Scourges.
This is why they keep me around, to remind you.
I mean, they have the best armor that the Dark Eldar get. I don't know, and stay in your seats for this one. 4+.
Oh!
You can't buy Incubi armor on anybody, so that's really the best your troops are getting. So Scourges have Ghost Plate that gives them a 4+ armor save, a 6+ invuln save. So off the bat, all your guys have invuln. And the amount of times I've gotten a 6, and which is like a miracle, but when it happens, it is a miracle! So, yes. And then Feel No Pain potentially, based on the Power from Pain chart. But the whole squad at 10 points a guy, you can give 4 of those guys Haywire Blasters or Heat Lances. And Heat Lances are viable as well, but Haywire's a 2+ almost sure thing.
Yeah, and with Deep Strike, multiple units can easily split up, like Knight Shields, and you can kind of position them where they need to be without getting blown off the table first.
And if you're really clever on how you land, you can place that center Scourge in the middle of the line and have 2 on one facing and 2 on another facing. Do that in 3 points, and that one shield is just not going to be enough for that Knight.
Doesn't matter if he's in Lance or not, that guy's just dead.
And now we talk comparable points. That Imperial Knight bare bone at 370, 3 units of Scourges, full weapons, 360. So that's viable.
Yeah.
But a Heavy Flamer. Oh god, a Heavy Flamer. And Scourges cry.
Single Heavy Flamer. Poor Blood Angels.
And Blood Angels and Tyranid Hive Tyrants. Just thorax cannons, that's a thing. And those are Haywire too, so Haywire! But Dark Eldar.
And Venoms or Raiders, where are you going for transports?
This really comes down to your meta, your local meta. If you're facing a lot of Imperial players, don't bother with the Raider play, because their crack grenades, being as valid as they are, whether you're a Raider or a Venom really becomes a question, because close combat, a Raider has zilch. Venoms at the exact same cost with no upgrades has a 5-up invuln.
Yeah.
So people punch you, maybe you live. Not quite the thing with the Raider. But if you're non-Imperial local players, you're playing against a lot of Tyranids, Necrons, Eldar, Dark Eldar, Demons, Tau, Orcs. Then they have fantastic grenade launchers. It's like a Psychic Shriek blast template off the Raider itself.
Yep.
I can take Raiders out of the Homunculus Coven detachment that make all enemy nearby units take -1 leadership. So there's lots of ways to stack that. There's a wonderful artifact that Dark Eldar get, 4+, 6+ armor, that gives it 6-inch -2 leadership. So you can really start to stack that ability. On top of them being able to buy equipment that make people take that same leadership check again. So it's like obscene, but Fearless and They Shall Know No Fear cancel it out. So Imperials, not going to happen.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit there. Dark Eldar, what do you bring them with? Are you bringing them with Dark Eldar, Dark Eldar, Dark Eldar, regular Eldar, with Harlequin, some other combination?
They have a lot of validity in their alliance chart, especially with the advent of Harlequins, and I won't really get into that because I like them too much, and I'm tainted by the laughter. But Eldar can give you, your Psychic Alliance, which they don't have access to right now. So Farseer has become playable for them. And the way the Webway portal works out, you can deep strike a whole unit without scattering. So I could toss a Farseer in there to give them a little bit of buffage, or toss an Archon into a Seer Council and they can deep strike, no scatter. I don't know. It doesn't have to be like that. It's just it's an option. It's fun. I play a lot of the formations of the Homunculus Coven.
Okay.
It all comes down to how many detachments you're allowed to play, and
any particular ones stick out to you?
I really like Talos. They're the monstrous creature with instant death potential in the Dark Eldar Codex, and you can take a squad of 5 of them that get outflank or scout, same difference, scout. And any unit that they kill that's not a vehicle gives you a victory point towards the end of the game. So I've played missions where I just ignored the mission and I let the Talos go ham on stuff and got 11 victory points out of them.
Double check your local tournament FAQ. It sometimes is a little iffy, but when it is allowed, it's certainly very strong.
I've played in tournaments where they've only had it count towards the secondary points, which still max out at 6, but if I can't get first blood, they can get me those 2 points. So it supplements.
It's just really strong, regardless of if they're allowing it for primary or secondary or whatever. It just kind of shores up things, because you're bound to pick up some points here and there from it.
Absolutely. And you can't just dodge a unit of 5 monstrous creatures dominating a section of the field.
They're a little slow, but they have a massive footprint.
And you daisy train that line out, and it's like you're hiding from a big jump rope. It's just not going to happen. You're going to trip,
Hiding from a jump rope.
That's right. It's such a scary jump rope. And they have other formations. They have a Scalpel Squadron, 2 units of Rax and Venoms that automatically deep strike first turn, kind of like drop pod rules, without inertial guidance. Boo. But if they get first blood, you get D3 extra victory points. And so that's, again, all comes down to your local tournament. And you can get denied first blood, and then you cry because you bought that for no reason. But they have a lot of potential for extra victory points. There's the Usurpians, who if you kill their warlord with instant death, AP 1 or 2, they get D3 victory points for you killing his warlord. So I might suicide my warlord at an Imperial Knight for some extra points. And again, when you're deep striking in with a webway portal, you're kind of throwing yourself into harm's way already.
Yeah.
And so stuff like that can play out.
Just as it pretty much has always been, Dark Eldar are a very risk-reward kind of codex. You kind of give up all of your survivability, and you pick up a lot of maneuverability and offensive power. And a billion poison attacks, a billion haywire. You can kind of tailor it to what you think the meta is going to look like.
And I've found when I make my lists right now, and this is really boring, and I'm so sorry to admit this, but it's always 6 squads of warriors and venoms and 3 squads of scourges with haywire blasters. There's my 1,000 points. Let's figure out the rest.
But still, that's
I know
9 plus another 6 for the transport.
It's 990 pretty much to have our.
I'm counting
sorry,
up
1,020, giving you 12 obsec and 3 scary fast attack.
So you're up to 15 units. Depending on if you go formation or not, it's a bunch of obsec units.
All of them have 12-inch movement because of being in a venom or being jump troops. They can all deep strike. I mean,
it wouldn't be a review if I didn't mention the weakness a little bit. Kill points.
Vomiting kill points at opponents. I won a kill point game once. See how amazed I am by that? I was like, it happened! And it happened because they kept summoning demons, because they literally said, there's no one going to lose kill points to Dark Eldar.
It's true. I mean, that is... You sit down against Dark Eldar in a kill points game, you immediately go, I'm going to win this game. I can do whatever I want.
I mean, I have 25 kill points in an army. It's really sad. And so, hey, how about that Talos getting me some extra victory points? All right.
Yeah, that,
and
secondaries or maelstroms where you can.
And this never comes up because it's never happened here yet, because nobody's played me kill points when I had it, but Corpse Thief Claw gets an extra victory point for each one it kills during kill points.
What?
So it'd be 2 victory points for every squad it got during kill points. Hoorah! Never gonna work, though. Well, never say never. But
and then, I guess... Another big question is Homunculus Coven versus not. Do you sway one way or the other?
Objective secured, period, hands down. It's game changing, and Homunculus Coven can't get it. They don't have troops at all. Yeah. It's all Rax, Grotesque, Talos, Kronos, and Homunculi. That's it.
If you're kind of risking basically throwing a lot of your kill point missions out the window, you really need to win the objective ones. Especially, like, if it's a battle point tournament, that can just win you the tournament is, okay, cool, I lost this kill point mission, but I dominated all the objective ones.
I even want to go as far as to say that with certain Homunculus Coven armies, you might be able to win objective-based missions versus objective-secured stuff, but what you won't win is Maelstrom, ever. They don't have guns.
Yeah.
So all the objectives for shooting phase-based stuff, not going to happen. Don't have any psychics, so all the objectives for psychic-based stuff, not going to happen. They don't have a flyer, so that's not going to happen. The only vehicle they can have is Raiders and Venoms. That's not really going to survive them very long. No fleet, no ability to assault out of reserves. It's a really fun army. I like it a lot, but it's niche. There's only a couple lists you can play that are just Homunculus Coven that are going to get you to where you want to be.
Any units, formations, anything that you want to touch on before we wrap things up?
I was really impressed when we went to 11th Company during 2014. I saw another Dark Eldar player run the Grotesquerie formation. And not a lot of people even talk about Grotesques. They have Rampage, so when they're outnumbered, they get D3 extra attacks each. They have Flesh Gauntlets, so when they roll 6s, they get instant death. Already a 3+ poisoned attack. They're Strength 5, so it's usually going to be a 3+ anyway, so that starts to work out kind of awesome. I don't know, a lot of value to that, but the Grotesquerie can give them 6...
Pretty good meta choice.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because all this monster killing that's going on, character killing, they have that value. Or fight an Orc Blob with Rampage. They have, 30 attacks. It's obscene. They cause fear, which is never going to happen, but cool, And because of the
one time in the entire tournament it happens.
I say it now that I win a game because of it. And because they're Homunculus Coven, all Homunculus Coven have Freakish Spectacle. So any units within 12 inches are -1 leadership. So if you're doing any leadership shenanigans, that whole army kind of helps you in that sense.
The name of the Dark Eldar things are fantastic.
I know, they're adorable.
Adorable is a good word for it.
Hello Kitty type names. Yes, that's what it is. The content too. But the Grotesquerie, you could get the Grotesque Toughness 6, Shred, 4+ Feel No Pain, It Will Not Die. They have some value to it. Fleet, things that you wouldn't really play out. But Toughness 6 is invaluable to them.
Definitely.
Makes top Strength 10, I mean, instant death them. They're all 3-wound models with Feel No Pain. Gives them a lot of survivability. Deep striking them in with a webway portal, throwing them into the thick of things can get kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely. has to distract from the rest of your army because they can't just let them sit there. So.
And if you're unfamiliar with formations, all of these don't have any costs. Their only requirement is that you have the units that are required for this fortification. But it's a formation. I'm brilliant. But it's its own detachment. And so, in that sense, if it's not a battle
Tower
brother,
of Grotesques.
yes.
But yeah, overall they're strong. Have a lot of versatility. Just have to be aware of the kill points issues going in. But
Really valuable ally. Regular Dark Eldar have an attachment called Real Space Raiders. While they don't have objectives secured, they get 6 fax attack slots. And so if I want transports for an Eldar army, I can buy 6 Venoms as fast attack and get a bunch of open-top vehicles to put Howling Banshees,
Fire Dragons,
Warlocks, whatever, inside of Deep Striking Fire Dragons. Things, things. Scary things.
Options. That's what it's all about. Anyway. Thank you guys. That was our Dark Eldar relook review thing. Don't forget to check out our other videos, and we'll see you next time.
So poisonous!